Hello and welcome to one of Staffordshire's most significant historical sites. First mentioned in the Domesday Book in the 11th century, the Trent estate has been home to nobility for centuries, played a vital role in military training during the Second World War and hosted a Beatles concert in 1963. Well, this weekend the grounds will be graced by performances of a more physical rather than musical nature, because this is the 2016 Stoke-on-Trent European City of Sport Triathlon. The event takes place in the stunning grounds of Trentham Hall. Now, it took the legendary architect and designer Lancelot Capability Brown 21 years to renovate these formal gardens. The dip in his lake should take around about the same in minutes for most of the triathletes. Then it's out of the water onto a multi-lap bike course before finishing with an inspiring run that brings everyone back towards the Italian gardens. Stoke-on-Trent is world-renowned for its potteries, and there's a real local theme to the prizes on offer this weekend. Every category winner will receive a unique piece of pottery created by hand right here in the area. And with healthy cash incentives for the elite fields, there is plenty to race for. What a brilliant weekend in Prospect, and I'm delighted to be joined by former 800-metre international Rachel Stringer. And Rachel, I know you're really looking forward to the action, and what a coup this whole event is for Stoke.
Well, absolutely, because 2016 Stoke has been awarded the European City of Sport status, so that really gets them the chance to show off how passionate they are about sport in this city.
And another great element of this weekend, it's inclusive. We've got the 18-year-olds, we've got the 80-year-olds, but this is also a fantastic couple of days for the children who are taking part.
Absolutely, and what's great about this event as well is that the kids get to swim in open water. Not many events put that on for the children, and hopefully we'll have hundreds of children taking part, and maybe even their mums and dads on the Sunday, and maybe even their grandparents will get involved as well.
On to the elite races then. What a great duel in Prospect between Tom Bishop, who almost made the Olympic squad this year, and Stuart Hayes, who was partnering the Brownlees back in 2012.
Tom Bishop, great end to the season, 5th in Edmonton. He'll be one to watch. Then Stuart Hayes, no one can discount him. Former Olympian, he's in quite good form, isn't he?
He certainly is. And what about your old training partner, Emma Pallant? I remember watching her knock out some brilliant 1500s back in the day, and now she's a converted triathlete and one who's classy.
Stepping up a distance here today to race a 10K, but I mean, it's actually been a step down, hasn't it, from this season? She's been doing more half Ironman championships, where she won in Weymouth a few weeks ago.
She could go very well indeed. And great bragging rights at stake in this National Club Championship, because this is going to be so hotly contested.
Well, let's hope so. And what's great about this is it's an inclusive event. Everybody taking part, their result will count towards their club's end result. And it's also very fair, because the big clubs, they compete against the big clubs, and the small clubs against the small clubs. So it's a really good format. So we've got the Newcastle Tri Club, and you're all competing here at Stoke Triathlon in your local event. How is it having a triathlon here, just kind of a stone's throw away from where you guys live?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's great not to have to travel far, and didn't have to get up as early this morning to travel. So yeah, it was great, and it means our friends and families can come and watch as well, when often they wouldn't travel to watch. So yeah, it's really good.
And are you guys going to be competing against each other, or, you know, trying to kind of encourage each other, I guess?
Encourage each other when we're watching each other, but sometimes there is a little bit of an edge there, especially if someone comes past me on the bike. I'll try and push a bit longer, and especially on the run, because I don't like losing.
Obviously, it's a club championship today as well. How do you think you lot will get on out there?
Oh, we're going to win. Yeah, we've got lots of people out there in lots of different races, and even though some of our good guys say they're going to be relaxed, we're hoping they'll score some good points for us, and hopefully we'll be on the podium at the end.
So I've got Chester Triathlon Club here, and Ian, how is it to have a local-ish race to you guys?
Well, it's brilliant not to challenge. It's like 45 minutes away, and what's not to like? Fabulous weather, great team, all in top form. So we're going to smash it, basically.
And are you going for the club championship? So are you going to try and maybe beat the team next door there, the Newcastle Tri Club?
Without doubt, club championships, age group wins.
It's going to be pretty competitive between us lot, I think. So yeah, it's ideal. Yeah, 2 minutes from home. Yeah.
Absolutely. And okay, you said it's going to be quite competitive. Who are you expecting to win?
Well, they're all pointing at me, but where's Kev? Kev, I think Kev. Yeah.
Everyone thinks you, but Kev's the dark horse. Why are we saying that you're going to win?
I don't know why you're saying I'm going to win.
Because you're physically quicker than all of us, so that's probably the reason for it.
There's a thriving triathlon community in this area, so this race gives an opportunity for banter and bragging rights between the clubs, and there's a chance to win that unique piece of Stoke pottery. Here's your commentator Patrick Winterton with more details.
Well, this area certainly has a proud history of sport. Stoke City, of course, were one of the founding members of the Football League back in 1888, and some true greats of the game have graced the turf since then. And the club still plays in the Premier League, known, of course, as the Potters. And that's because it's a world centre for ceramics and has been producing pottery for almost 1,000 years. Local names such as Wedgwood, Royal Dalton, Moorcroft, famous around the globe. Stoke's history, though, is pastoral as well as industrial. The Trent estate has some of England's most beautiful gardens that house 15 unique fairies and considerably more Barbary macaques that live in the monkey forest. But I'm not sure they're going to be too interested in the events taking place today as the Olympic distance athletes make their way towards the start. It's a deep water start here. Olympic, sprint, super sprint, kids distances as well. Something for everyone at this event. But the bulk of the National Club Championships concerned with the Olympic distance. 1,500 metres of swimming, 40 kilometres of bike riding, and then they finish it off with a 10k run. The swim, the section that many dread the most, especially the open water swimming. Many of them have done hour after hour in the swimming pools. This is very different, looking for a little bit of space. Once you've done it once, you know it really wasn't too much to be concerned about. Techniques vary, but maybe not quite as much as the speeds. The sprint distance athletes get to go second, but there's just as much club rivalry there.
You guys are kind of going against these guys, is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. So a bit of an inter-club rivalry going on, so we're going to beat them. So there's no point in them being here, to be honest.
What have you got to say to that? The girls are thinking they're going to beat you guys.
We'll see at the finish line.
So inter-club rivalry as well as club rivalry, it seems. Newcastle Tri Club from Staffordshire, Chester in there certainly with a good chance. Newcastle with Lloyd Bebbington, who's a strong athlete, Simon Powner as well. And there is one of the Knight Rider Club athletes looking perfect in pink. We'll see a lot of them as they work their way round. And remember, you only compete against clubs that have the same number of athletes in the races today. Everyone, though, counts. Every time is significant. Chester dressed in blue. No drafting permitted as we see Karen Jackson, one of the Chester athletes.
How was that for you?
The swim was okay, pretty cold, but yeah.
Feeling good now, how are you feeling?
Yeah, really good, thanks.
What is your strongest discipline?
The bike. Worst is the run.
So she's got 20 Ks to make up some time on the bike. Jo Donnelly now of Newcastle Tri Club.
Jo, you're powering down there. How's it going?
Yeah, really good, thanks.
Are you looking forward to this bike section?
Yeah, it's my weakest section, so just like getting it over and done with, really.
Also doing the sprint distance. And this looks like Matt Carey from the Knight Riders Club.
We love the pink. There's a lot of you. Yeah, about 10 or 12 of us today. We're taking over. Go, Knight Riders!
Well, a great atmosphere out on the roads, lots of competition as well. Nathan Ames there, number 102, going past Mark Benson of Chester.
Hopefully we do well in the Cup Champs.
Number 1, he indicates, but not for long, because Mark Benson coming back a storm on the downhill section.
Manchester!
Sharon Plested seems to be enjoying herself out on the roads. And Chris Walton of Newcastle coming up alongside her. Certainly a good pace being set. And we've got clubs from all over the country: London, Liverpool, Leamington, Lichfield. And Ealing.
Come on, keep up. How you getting on? All right. Best triathlon yet, by far.
There's certainly no shortage of enthusiasm here. The weather has helped, but it's really the course that is absolutely astonishing. Location, 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 and they've got it right here at Stoke-on-Trent. Sharon Plested on to the run, bike completed, and she is one of a massive 450 members of that Chester club who haven't had too far to travel to get to this spectacular race today.
The team event's clearly getting everyone in the mood for the National Club Championship. The conclusion of that one coming up after the break, along with the elites, and we'll get a glimpse of those we're hoping are at the beginning of a lifelong triathlon journey. Welcome back to Stoke-on-Trent for the European City of Sport Triathlon here in the stunning surroundings of the Trentham Estate. Still to come, the best of British elite go head-to-head over Olympic distance, and some stars of the future have their first taste of triathlon competition. Now let's return to the National Club Championship, which is edging towards a dramatic conclusion.
Now it's worth remembering that anyone racing for their club can score points for their club, whether it be in the Olympic or the sprint distance. So everyone here has something to go for. And it's a format that has certainly fired up a few who would otherwise just cruise round this course. The Olympic distance, remember, finishing with a 10-kilometre run. It's half that for those doing the sprint distance.
On.
The club championships are a great way to bring enthusiastic triathletes together, and they're also a great way to bring families together. And this weekend really does have an event for everyone.
And that includes the kids, 3 age categories, and some 500 kids have turned out to race today, which is an unbelievable turnout.
We want children to embrace triathlon. It's an amazing sport. So what we've done is, like, let's mirror what we would do in a pool. So we get a lane rope, and we put buoys on the end. We get canoeists on one side so the children know they're safe. We get divers in the other side. We're putting children in every 15 seconds. They're not going in a mass wave. We've got the distances, achievable distances for these children, so we know that they can all do it. And they cross that finish line with the biggest smile on their face. And when I see children doing that, that's why we love what we do in our job.
Well, how about this? We've got 3 generations of the same family all competing this weekend. They are the Blake Peeds. Paula, let's start off with you. Is this a usual weekend for all of you, or is it rare to have 3 generations all competing?
We've done it a couple of times. Normally, the boys, they've been doing a lot of racing the last few years, as has Matt, but this is about maybe the 2nd or 3rd time that we've had Grandpa with us as well.
Now, were you the first one? Did you get everybody into triathlon, or did they start and you thought, I better have a crack?
I had to follow, you know, because wherever they go, we had to compete, so that was it.
And are you, as dad, as the middle of the 3 generations, you're obviously going to be better than him, and you're going to be leading the boys. Are you the one always out front?
I am at the moment, but they're coming up fast, especially this one. He's absolutely flying at the moment.
So do you reckon there might come a day quite soon where you're even better than your dad?
Maybe. Yeah, hopefully there will be when I'm older.
Good luck, everybody. Watch out for the Blake Peds.
And it will be Alex and Harrison who are first to take to the water. They've got a 50-metre swim for the 9 to 12-year-old category. Well, there goes Harrison on his swim, short and sharp, very manageable. Alex hot on his toes.
Well, we found another very fit and raring to go family. These are the Warings. We've got Glenn, Adam and Kirsty. Glenn, we better start with you. Is all this your fault? Were you the one who got the kids into it, or was it the other way round?
No, I'm afraid it was all down to me. I've been doing triathlon for about 10 years now, and the kids have just started joining in, which is fantastic.
So what does it mean to you to now be able to share this great sport with your children?
It's absolutely fantastic. First of all, it gets me to spend some time with them instead of them trying to avoid me. So it's absolutely brilliant, it really is. Looking forward to this weekend.
Right, Adam, now obviously boys always grow up trying to emulate and then better their fathers. Are you getting close to the old man these days?
I'd say on the run, when I'm just running I'm alright, but in terms of coming off the bike and then onto the run, we did a practice a couple of weeks ago and he had me on that, so I was struggling.
So Kirsty, it sounds like you've got a little bit of experience. What's your strength out of the three?
That's the swim, but then the bike, and then I'm not very good on the run, but I'll do it. Well,
Good luck. The most important thing is we hope all three of you enjoy it and have a great, safe day. We'll see all of you at the finish line. Big smiles when you cross the line.
Fantastic. Will do. Cheers.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see them in action later on as we see the youngest of the Blake Peds just coming out of the water. Here is Kirsty. She's in the 13 to 16-year-old category. 100-metre swim, 3K bike ride, and then a 1.5K run. Well, that's a good transition. They've obviously been well trained by Dad. Why waste seconds in the transition area? 100% of the bike ride on the grass, so it's about as safe as you can get. And actually one other feature that's really nice is that it never really goes more than a couple of 100 metres away from the transition area, so the parents, the families, the friends can see every single bit of action and effort. The young Blake Peds are on to the run now, having completed the bike ride. This actually is Harrison, who's storming his way round the run course. His brother Alex just taking his time. Good steady pace from him. And Kirsty Waring, she was all smiles on the bike ride and still managing to raise a smile. Well, there's someone who's been watching the pros.
Do you reckon you'd have another go at a triathlon after this?
Yeah, I could do it again.
I think he could do it again right now. And what about this for a finish? Harrison Blake Pede, he's just over 18 minutes. And Kirsty Waring looks relieved that it's all over.
Well done.
Thank you. The run was really tough with loads of hills.
Was that the hardest bit?
Oh, the hills and the grass. It's hard on the grass. But we did it, so.
Do you have a lump in your throat there?
Oh, absolutely brilliant.
And here is Alex Blake Pede. He's picked the pace up since we last saw him.
Big sprint finish there.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
And you were waiting patiently. You are a couple of years older, so you saw each other around the course. Did you give him a few encouraging words?
Yeah, he said good luck to me when he caught me up on the bike when he was doing his first lap, which was good.
I wonder if we're looking at an Alistair and Jonathan Brownlee. If so, which way round?
Alistair, Jonathan.
Yeah, good lads. Well done, boys.
And now it's the turn of Mum, Paula Blake Pede, in her first ever triathlon. Well, the fun distance swim is 200 metres, and that could take, what, 4 or 5 minutes, and she's not at the front, but she's a long way from the back as well. A good start. 10Ks on the bike, that won't take long. And of course, your first triathlon is all about learning how to get the wetsuit on and off, how to get through the transition, how to work the gears on the bike. Remembering what your number is, that would help.
She's lost her stuff. Right, Paula, 2 disciplines down, 1 to go. How are you feeling?
Really good, I really enjoyed that. There was a few hills, up and down, but not too bad.
So just the run to go. It's only 2.5k. And when you've got company, it's not half as bad, even if they run a little bit faster than you. So Paula completes triathlon number 1.
Woohoo! You did it! How are you? I'm fine. It was good. How was Mum?
Good, yeah.
So, Stoke Triathlon is one to do, yes?
Definitely. Beautiful grounds, great event, great competitors.
Give her a big cuddle!
So from one family race to another. Now this is a father and son. We thought this was going to be an epic battle, but it sounds as if these two, Adam and Glenn, have decided to race together. And we'll just have to see who is in the better shape at the end of the day. They've managed to keep in contact throughout the swim.
How have you been finding it?
All right, swallowed about half the lake, but I think I'll be all right.
And how was that run there, that transition run?
Really tough, very hilly.
You've come through the swim together. Are you still planning on staying together during the bike?
Yes.
So away they go, the Warings, in pursuit of each other.
Triathletes young and old are taking on the course here at Trent Gardens. But in the club championship, the pottery prizes are still to be decided.
Newcastle Tri Club and Chester, 2 clubs expected to do well in the National Club Championships, and Sue Ellis, one of those doing her part for Chester.
Do you think Chester are edging towards the team title?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, we'll be there at the end.
Well, it's going to be a while before they can work out which club has won. Every single athlete, remember, picking up points for their team.
On behalf of Newcastle, you've nailed another couple of points.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. And as an old guy like me, got to be good at it.
Go on, you're not that old. Spill the beans. How old?
57. So.
Mate, you don't look 57.
I'm happy with that, yeah, well. Feelings after that.
A lot of the early starters on the run already, an out and back course. Adam and Glenn Waring approaching T2, so they're still on the bikes. Individuals who've decided to race together, and another father and son combination, Andy and Matt Blake-Peed, are racing together in the relay, and Matt is just out of the water.
Come on, Matt, how was that?
Oh, I'm absolutely shattered.
And now you're taking it, you're swapping over and giving it to your dad to take the next leg. Yeah. Go, Andy, go!
Don't be too long, please.
And you're then doing the final leg as well?
Final leg, nice 5k run. That should do me, I think.
Can I have a quick chat? You've done 2 out of the 3 disciplines. You're still smiling. How are you feeling?
I am shocked. I'm still going. I've never done this before, and I thought I was bonkers, but...
Well, it looks as though Matt's expecting a long wait, but I can tell you that the senior member of the Blake-Peed family is flying. He's averaging just about 30 kilometres an hour. And with a performance like that,
see you in a bit.
If Matt can produce a half-decent run, they may well be on for the sprint relay title. So Matt with 5k to go. Adam and Glenn Waring a little closer to home in the Italian Gardens.
Oh, you two are both looking strong. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Not feeling too rough at all coming off the bike. Not bad. I think I can, if I wanted to, I could probably kick him now, but we'll stick with him.
Yeah, I think you probably could.
Yeah.
Well, here comes Matt Blake-Peed, and he looks every bit the runner. Smooth action and flying past some of the other competitors. He is on the home run. Great atmosphere at the finish, and here come the Warings. It's taken just about an hour to complete that last 10k run.
Well, Glenn, you must be so proud of both of them.
So proud, so tired. Done absolutely brilliant, both of them. Fantastic weekend. Really proud. Well done, kids.
Kirsty, you got to run over the finish line again.
It's alright, I don't mind. We might as well finish together. We've been here for a weekend.
Well, well done. You've been great sports. Stay fit, stay healthy. See you in 2017.
Thank
Thank you very much. Well, let's hope so. And here we see Matt Blake-Peed. Well, the uphill has slowed him a little, but he's still extending his lead over the other athletes. He's having an absolute stormer. And they will be coming into the finish in just a minute. Here they are, the Blake-Peeds, without a doubt, taking the sprint relay title. Dad and Grandad teaming up.
You as a family smashed this weekend.
I'm so pleased that we can all do it together. It's absolutely superb. Very proud of Dad, very proud of the kids, and my wife for the first time triathlon. Absolutely amazing.
In the club championships, Newcastle have to settle for second. Chester take the win in Division 1. Division 2 won by Welland Valley, and Millfield taking Division 3. Congratulations to all the teams. The National Club Championships have been a massive success, and we still have the elite to come. They're coming up next.
Welcome back to Stoke-on-Trent, proudly chosen as this year's European City of Sport. Many local names have gone on to grace international sporting fields over the years, none more so than those associated with football. Legendary England World Cup winning goalkeeper Gordon Banks played here, and so too did the magician Sir Stanley Matthews, born, raised and idolised in this, his home city. It's just over 50 years since Sir Stanley last laced his boots as a professional, and yet it's clear this is still a thriving sporting environment. And the triathlon we're here to cover this weekend forms an integral part of Stoke's reign as European City of Sport for 2016.
When you think of cities like Milan, Rome, Paris, they've all had this accolade, and Stoke have got it as well. So when they got it, it was absolutely amazing. And when we got the call that they want to put on a triathlon, well, everybody was absolutely ecstatic with it.
And of course, there are going to be plenty of sports involved throughout the year. Table tennis, running, half marathons, marathons, football, even moonlit walks. But today, an event organised by UK Triathlon, an outfit that have been operating for some 25 years. The emphasis is very much on encouraging newcomers and kids into the racing scene.
This place is absolutely amazing. You couldn't believe it. You look at the Italian gardens, the lake, everything around it. It's just so picturesque. When you go on part of the run course, you can look down over the lake and the whole estate. It looks absolutely fantastic. This first year, we've got an abundance of people in this triathlon. You know, the city of Stoke have really taken it on board, whether it's been the adults or the children.
So it's here to stay?
It is here to stay, definitely for the next 3 years. And hopefully it builds up and it builds up, and we turn this into one of the biggest triathlons in the UK.
Well, there are two cracking elite fields assembled this weekend, with Team Dillon athletes hoping to secure a memorable double here in Stoke. In the men's race, British 2012 Olympian Stuart Hayes is aiming to finish his season on a high, whilst his training partner and double world duathlon champion Emma Pallant is also eyeing top spot on the podium, and it's the women in action first.
Emma Pallant, someone who missed out on Olympic selection this year. Since then, she's really turned her mind to the longer events. What a talent she is, coming of course from a running background from 1500 metres up to 5,000. Injury forcing her into triathlon, and she's reaching the top.
It's a fantastic venue, heard all about this event, and yeah, we thought why not, good road trip. You know, I've actually got some of my athletes and some Team Dillon athletes that we coach coming up here to do the event as well, so it's going to be really well supported. Like I said, beautiful surroundings, and makes for a great race.
Katie Singe, another of the favourites here today, moved from Bath to Loughborough to train with other elites. Actually, she shares a house with 5 other really talented sportswomen. That will be a great atmosphere for training. A little bit anxious about the non-drafting format being used here today, and she knows that she's got plenty of opposition. Should be a good race for her.
I think especially on the bike, 40k is quite a long way. If you're not in a pack, it's always good to have someone to pick off or know they're behind you and they're chasing you down. You've got to be thinking about it. So yeah, Emma's a really strong girl. She's a good competitor, so it'll be nice to have her out there.
Singe and Pallant certainly the two favourites here. Pallant not brilliant in the water, certainly that's been her weak spot. Katie Singe, on the other hand, had a bad injury, a car crash back in 2015. That wrote off that season. Interesting to see whether she's back to her best form in the water. But the swim, the first phase, certainly won't be just about those two.
There's a girl called Mary Hodgson racing. I think she's a decent swimmer in ITU, so it might be her leading into T1. I'd hope to come out the water near the front as well. I imagine it won't be too long till I see Emma at some point on the bike.
Well, it is Mary Hodgson who leads the way in the early stages.
I'm hoping to get a good swim and see how long I can hold on for. I know Emma's really strong on the bike and run, and it's not drafting here, so hopefully I'll just stick to my race plan and have a good race.
Hodgson looking very good in the water. Actually, she's got a talented older sister, Sarah. Both of them exceptional when it comes to aquathlon races. And today's really a question of whether Katie Singe and Emma Pallant can hold on to her feet on this 1500-metre swim. So 4 laps of the course to make up those 1500 metres. Lots of technical rounding of the boys. That's where the good swimmers will certainly find they can gain a few metres. And the men starting just over 10 minutes behind. Here they are, the elite field. Tom Bishop is there. Tom Davis might be able to give him a run for his money. And 37-year-old Stu Hayes.
You're still going strong after all these years. What keeps you going? What keeps you hungry?
Well, I love racing and I also love training as well. And now I'm a coach too. It keeps me fit, it keeps me healthy, and also taking my athletes out training, I have to be fit and healthy, so that's what's keeping me going.
And Stu Hayes, of course, part of Team Dillon, as is Emma Pallant. And Stu Hayes has played a role in getting Emma to the standard that she's at today. Stu Hayes leading the way. He's half a metre clear in the early stages. Tom Bishop on his shoulder. Tom, of course, trained by Jack Maitland, does a lot of training with the Brownlees. And he so nearly won that place to Rio.
The first part of the season was just work on my swimming and my bike and try and make the pilot roles in the Olympics, and I was close. I was probably about 10 seconds off in a swim. It came down to that more or less, and I didn't make the team, but then it kind of refocused me and I wanted to see what I could do myself, and I spent the last 3 or 4 months just training really hard. I've been swimming really well, which it shows the training early on in the season's paying off, so finally it's kind of coming together at the right time, and well, hopefully for the next Olympic cycle. So yeah, just finish off today here in Stoke and then look forward to a nice little rest and then refocus for the next season.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on today. He's got some more company in the water. James Teagle is there, a 19-year-old who's based in Loughborough, the British junior champion back in 2014.
I'm expecting to have quite fast swims, like a lot of good bikers here, so I need to. Yeah, you never know with a swim. 4 laps might be quite messy. I think it'll suit the better swimmers more because it'll be a lot more choppy, a lot more turning, and obviously sighting and things come into their element.
Well, a real tussle developing in the men's race. The women approaching the end of the swim, and Mary Hodgson is going to be first out of the water. Silky smooth technique from her, and in the last 500 metres she's opened up a decent gap over the rest of the field. Looks as though Emma Pallant, yes, this is Emma Pallant, slapping the water as usual. And then in third place, that must be Katie Singe, I think, just 7 or 8 seconds down on Pallant. But it's a long, long run, 500-600 metres into T1. And slightly unusually, they're going to have to put footwear on to complete that run. They couldn't lay a carpet all the way. Now, a choice here. Do you take the wetsuit off, as Hodgson has done, and carry it like a wet fish, or do you run with the wetsuit on? I think it looks as though Pallant is going for the latter. Be interesting to see which is quicker. I'm pretty sure that the wetsuit comes off easier when it's saturated, i.e. early on. Once you've been running for 500-600 metres, it sticks to the skin, could create a few problems when they get into that first transition. But the women's swim over now. Hodgson leading the way, as form suggested. Pallant in second place. We've got Katie Singe in third. The men still out there, some 500 metres to go before they exit and head for T1.
Welcome back to the conclusion of the inaugural Stoke-on-Trent European City of Sport Triathlon. Now, one of the main attractions here at the Trentham Estate are these marvellous Barbary macaques, 140 of them, and they've been here for 11 years. This weekend, they're sharing the spotlight with the triathletes. We've seen the children's races, we've seen the club championship. Now comes the climax of the 2 elite races.
Well, that is the monkey forest on the far side of the lake. And the elite men still out in the water. Tom Bishop has taken a little bit of a lead, but he's got company. Tom Davis is there as well, dropping off the pace slightly, Stu Hayes, but he's not far behind. In the women's race, Mary Hodgson first into the transition area, but Emma Pallant has closed up some 25 seconds on the run up the hill. Hodgson making a little mistake. Interesting to see how easily the wetsuit comes off. Remember, Hodgson took hers off at the start of the run, and that has saved her really, because otherwise she might have found herself behind Pallant. Pallant finding it hard just to get the last bit of the suit over the ankles, but no real mistake from her. But she finds herself, what, back to 20 seconds adrift of Mary Hodgson. So the decision to take the wetsuit off early certainly paying off. Now, can she keep those sort of drills going? Well, this is Hodgson showing a little bit of inexperience. Very slow to get the cycling shoes done up. And in the meantime, going through, Katie Singe takes the lead, who's had the better of the transition. So she's away. Pallant will be in full swing fairly shortly. Those two should be able to pull away from the youngster Mary Hodgson. The leading men out of the water. Tom Bishop is first. We've got James Teagle there. We've got Tom Davis there. They're the leading 3, and some 15 metres behind. A good effort from the 37-year-old Stu Hayes. 4th position, and now he's got to work his magic on the bike. Of course, a former World Cup winner, and he won that event in Kitzbühel purely by his prowess on the bike. Actually, the rest of the field didn't believe he could win, so they let him go somewhat. He's not a bad runner, but he's not as good a runner as he is cyclist. Teagle into transition. This is Tom Bishop, brother of David, of course, who's another very talented triathlete. 2 men who train alongside the Brownlee brothers. That surely has helped them. Good swim by Teagle, just 19 years old. He's got a rosy future, no doubt about it. And Stu Hayes, work to do now.
This race is an Olympic distance, which is half what I've been doing, but it's a non-drafting event, which is great, as all the races I do now are non-drafting. There are some other good guys here and young guys here which can definitely outrun me, but the thing I'm going to definitely do is try and get one on the bike.
Hayes, of course, the domestique for the Brownlees back in 2012. Tom Bishop was hoping for that role in Rio in 2016. Didn't quite come off, but here he is in the full flow. And Tom has improved his swimming dramatically. Still a way to go before he can compete with the world's best, but I don't have much doubt that he will get there. Katie Singe, remember that injury I mentioned back in 2015? Nice to see her racing so well again, but can she contend with the might of Emma Pallant on the bike? Emma Pallant, twice world duathlon champion. Her bike-run combination, second to none.
I think this definitely appeals to me, not riding in a pack. So being so draft legal, obviously you've got the groups like the Olympics that you have to be a strong swimmer to get into, whereas yeah, where you're not drafting, time trialling on a bike, I much prefer.
And I think if we don't see a dramatic improvement in her swim time, she's likely to stick to non-drafting events. Mary Hodgson, of course, doesn't have to worry about that. She's so strong in the water, comes from a swimming background, and it showed today. She was first out of the water.
It looks like a really interesting course. I drove the bike course yesterday. It's very up or down, but I think that makes it a bit less boring than a flat course, and yeah, I think it's going to be a really good race. It's a really great opportunity to race against some really good seniors and see where I'm at for next year when I'm a senior.
The Hodgson sisters from Lancaster now training with the Leeds Triathlon Club, and what a future she has. In the men's race, second place at the moment held by Tom Davis. He's come out of T1 very, very hard indeed. Trying to close down on Tom Bishop, trying to make sure that Stu Hayes doesn't catch him. Well, this is a strong start from Davis. Can he keep this going for 40 kilometres? Remember, they've got a 10-kilometre run at the end of this. Davis just 21. Another of those training at Loughborough. He won in Bala, he won in Sussex by 15 minutes. I don't think the competition could have been too stiff there. But he's been doing European Cup events. Stu Hayes sitting in third. He said he has to make ground on the bike. I think everyone agrees that he's got to be leading at the end of the bike if he's going to have a chance of winning. And I think it's a similar story for Katie Singe in the women's. She's not as strong at running as Emma Pallant is, although she comes from a modern pentathlon background. In the men's, Tom Bishop back in the lead, having got his own back on Thomas Davis. There's Stu Hayes, still looking focused, doing very well, but I'm not sure he can catch this man. Bishop looking very determined at the moment. Well, he goes past a similar suit to that of Stu Hayes. That was actually Emma Pallant, who started over 10 minutes in front of Tom Bishop. The idea was that they would finish at roughly the same time, but the men pushing the pace here today. Tom Bishop first into T2. Slick drills essential if he's going to capitalise on the advantage that he's gained on the bike ride. Off with the helmet, on with the running shoes. Not much to do, but you've got to get it right. Thomas Davis needs to be clean as well, because if he's not, Stu Hayes could be out of the transition early. Well, there's the first mistake. It's only going to cost a couple of seconds, but a valuable couple of seconds, because the experience shows with Stu Hayes. He's away, and I wonder whether that experience will help him find a way of beating the youth of Tom Davis on this 10k run.
I am definitely the senior citizen, and I mean, I'm going to struggle with some of these young guns, but we never know. We'll see what happens.
We certainly will, but it's Stu Hayes who has the advantage with 500 metres of the 10k course run. Tom Bishop is well ahead of these two. Tom Davis will be into the flow fairly shortly. That transition from the bike to the run, the first thing that newcomers to the sport learn how painful it can be. Loads of brick training to facilitate it. And through goes Davis, makes it look easy. That characteristic left arm of his. Nice style, and doesn't look as though he's overextending himself at the moment. Stu Hayes, I think, with the two Thomases ahead of him, will already resign himself to fighting for third. Here's the race leader. Tom Bishop is going to be hard to beat now after a very solid bike ride. Emma Pallant also produced some form on the bike, and on paper the quickest runner, so this one should be in the bag, providing she avoids injury. And injury has been a problem over the years. That's why she retired from athletics. Katie Singe, her nearest competition, she will know it's all about defending second place. And Mary Hodgson, it's all about experience, and she'll get bags of that here today, and some pretty spectacular sights. And Stu Hayes was absolutely buzzing when he arrived here this morning, and you have to remember that he has raced all over the world.
I actually really love places like this. As I'm getting older, I'm getting more old-fashioned. I'm looking around at historical places, so I'm really enjoying this type of place. It looks amazing.
Well, it certainly does, and there's no doubt that this event is going to grow and grow as the years go on. Emma Pallant, I'm not sure she's taken in too many of the sights, looks totally focused. Katie Singe having to work hard. A little mutual appreciation from Team Dillon. Stu Hayes is going to be on the podium today, sitting in third place in the men's race. Emma Pallant, who he's just passed, leading the women's. No catching Tom Bishop. He's looking on tremendous form. He's got that beautifully fluent running style. How far can this man go? Thomas Davis, he's on the way up as well. 21 years old. He's had some good results this year. Second place for him today, behind Tom Bishop, who adds yet another title to his name.
You said you wanted to finished the season in style, and that was a really emphatic win.
Oh, I'm really happy. I didn't know what I didn't really know what to expect coming into this race. I've never done a non-drafted race before, and I thought I'd just do what I'm used to, go hard in the swim, try and get out near the front, and I let out the swim, which was awesome. It's really enjoyable coming here and like appreciating the crowd, and everyone cheers you when you coming out of the swim and out the and into transition, and it's really nice. It's a really nice feeling having the home support.
Well done to Tom Davis.
It was hard from the start. I mean, Tom led it out from the swim, and I just tried to get on his feet, and he dragged me round, and then on the bike it was just a case of I knew he was going to ride away from me. He's such a strong rider that I just sort of hung on for as long as I could. My run legs were there somehow. I don't know how, because that's the hardest bike I've done in a long time.
And for long-term fans of the sport of triathlon, they'll be delighted to see Stu Hayes back on the podium. The man from Twickenham looking good. And another Team Dillon. This time it's Emma Pallant. What a performance, second out of the water, so the swimming is getting better, and she's produced a 33.53 10k run. And Katie Singe in second, just couldn't compete with Pallant today.
I think the more races you do at 70.3, it just, yeah, it felt so much shorter, which is nice for the body, but a bit of a shock because you're then trying to ride harder, you're trying to convince yourself you haven't got far to go, so you've got to start pushing.
What was that run course like? Was it quite nice?
Yeah, it was good. It kind of had a bit of everything. It was kind of a little bit off-road, then a nice bit of road, through the gardens was really nice, and then, yeah, a bit of up, bit of down, everything.
I really enjoyed it. I'd love to come back. It was a really good course and good competition, and it's nice having a bit of a hard course, especially at the end of the season. You can test your strength out, and yeah, so that's me done for 2016.
Mary Hodgson, we're going to see much more of her in the future. First out of the water.
Got a good swim and got out onto the bike first, but those two girls were really strong on the bike, so just tried to ride my own race and then keep going on the run, but for my first Olympic I'm very pleased.
And she knows exactly what she's got to work on. There she is, sitting in third place behind Pallant and Singe. And in the men's, Tom Bishop taking the win, 1:50.36 ahead of Tom Davis. Stu Hayes in third, wins himself a bit of pottery as well.
Well, Stu, you said these young guys might have a little bit too much just towards the end, and a good effort from you, but Tom Bishop was on fire today.
They both certainly were, especially on the swim. I mean, that used to be my strong points. I think I caught up a little bit on the bike, but then I knew if I hadn't got any time on the bike, I had no chance. They're young spring chickens.
And there are plenty of them here, and some youngsters as well who've done exceptionally well, starting their triathlon careers, and they will no doubt set their sights high for the future.
Well, that's it from the stunning Trentham estate. In the elite races, we had brilliant victories for Emma Pallant and Tom Bishop at the end of a very long Olympic distance season. And overall, it's been a fantastic weekend. Stoke's reign as European City of Sport may end this December, but this could well become a regular sporting fixture in Staffordshire. Until next year, see you soon.